The government, the police, the National Crime Agency are taking action at every level to take down the people smuggling gangs. And once again, however, we cannot do it alone. We continue to work closely with the French to prevent crossings. More than 20,000 have been stopped this year, which I think all members of this House should recognise the magnitude and the scale of the illegal migration crisis that we are seeing. We have dismantled 17 organised criminal groups and secured over 400 arrests and 65 convictions. But this crisis continues, clearly demonstrating we need to do more together. This is a complicated issue and there is no simple fix. It does mean a Herculean effort, and it will be impossible without close cooperation between all international partners and agencies. As we mourn those who have died in the most horrendous of circumstances, I hope that the whole House can come together to send a clear message that crossing the Channel in this lethal way, in a small boat, is not the way to come to our country. It is, of course, unnecessary, illegal, and desperately unsafe. I commend this statement to the House.
The Home Secretary mentioned the Nationality and Borders Bill, but she knows the opposition will not support a bill that breaches the Refugee Convention and damages our standing around the world. And indeed, the Home Secretary has spoken today of a worldwide migration crisis. Can ministers revisit their decision to cut the international aid budget and lead on the international stage to help those fleeing from persecution around the world? And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, can I say that yesterday's terrible tragedy must be a moment for change. The time for urgent action to save lives is now.
Because I have specifically mentioned just the weaponising of illegal migration, the fact that women and children, even babies, are being threatened and weaponised and being forced into some of these most appalling, unseaworthy vessels. Officers in France have also been attacked, physically attacked and injured in many quarters, and our border force patrols and officers themselves deal with many harrowing scenes every single day. And this is not new. This is absolutely not new, Madam Deputy Speaker, and even in my days in my previous department in development, humanitarian crises, climate crises, they all force displacement. And we have seen many, many movements of people through the Sahel, through Libya, through the Eastern Mediterranean since 2013, 14 and 15. And this has all culminated now in much vast people movements, obviously with the Afghanistan crisis and other points as well. The prosecutions that have taken place are very significant, they really are. Prosecution pathways in France differ to prosecution pathways in the United Kingdom, but also how we share across different jurisdictions information about individuals that have been arrested, because of course laws are different. But also, I should just add, Madam Deputy Speaker, there are gangs that aren't just operating on the continent, in northern France or in Belgium or in Netherlands or Germany. There are gangs that operate in the United Kingdom, and that is where our resources are absolutely focused and targeted. And this isn't just about UK-France cooperation, and I've never ever said, actually, and I do want to put this on the record once again, this is not just a problem for the United Kingdom and France. When you look at Europe, from the gateway into Italy, Greece, now Poland, I spoke to my counterpart in Poland earlier on this week, my counterparts in Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, you name it, we see this as a wide-scale problem. I've actually put an offer on the table, not for the first time, to the French government today on a returns agreement, but in particular looking at family reunion and children. So this is again an offer that I have made repeatedly to my counterpart in France. We are determined, over the weekend we're going to be pursuing further discussions. We have to have viable agreements, and viable agreements have to reflect the type of crisis that we face on migration and the type of circumstances that we are now confronted with. I think, number one, there is recognition now. And it's absolutely tragic and appalling, Madam Deputy Speaker, that it takes a tragedy of this nature for momentum to be galvanised across other countries as well on this issue. And it should never take a crisis of this nature for action to come together. But my right honourable friend has specifically asked me about putting pressure, as far as I see it, not just pressure, but direct offers on the table to France about joint patrols, whether it's territorial seas or on territory itself. This has been a constant offer, it really has. I have made that offer yet again to my counterpart in the last hour.